Hello, it's Sonia here with The Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. So today we are going to be making a hat. And this hat I would consider to be more of a beginner project. So if you've never made a hat before and you know the basic crochet stitches, and what I mean by basic would be your single crochet, your double crochet, half double crochet, triple crochet, and slip stitch. But this project is only going to be using 3 of those stitches, so you only need to know how to do the slip stitch, the single crochet, and the triple crochet. And you can see I have 2 hooks here, so I have my H hook or 5mm hook, and I also have my I hook or 5.5mm. So for the most of the project we're going to be using the I hook, but I have the H hook here because I'm dropping down a hook size to just add a little bit of shaping. And what I mean by that is when you see a garment, you might see like the sleeves, they get smaller towards the wrist, or the hat band, you want it to be a little bit smaller than the bulk of the hat. This is a beanie style hat, so I'm going to be using my H hook for the hat band, so it just fits a little bit better. But you might not need to do that. You might be able to just use the I hook for the entire project. And this project is going to be made top down. And also this is going to be a great project for using up bits of yarn. So I'm actually going to be using 8 little balls of yarn here. So here we go. I have them in a row of the sequence of how I want to use them. That's why they're kind of like this. But we're going to be starting off with this little guy. And I'm doing a challenge of trying to use up my yarn stash, so I thought I'll start with these little guys and hopefully I'll have enough. Alright, so let's get started here. So as I said before, this hat is made top down. So what I mean by that is you starting at the top of your head and working your way down to your eyebrows. Some hats are made bottom up, and so that would mean you're working at the hat band and working your way up. But we're going to do this top down. So to get started, I'm using my I hook here, so 5.5mm hook, and I'm going to chain 2. So we have our 2 chains, and we're going to work 4 single crochet in the second chain from our hook. Now I do have a version of this pattern on my TikTok. This one's going to be slightly different. I want to make it where the joins are a little bit more seamless. So on the TikTok, it's kind of hard to get in detail on TikTok because it's a short form content. So I avoided all that. But for this one, I want the joins to be a little bit more seamless. So what we're going to need is a stitch marker. So this is what I'm going to use for my stitch marker, just a little scrap of yarn. You can actually use real stitch markers. I lost all mine, so scraps of yarn just work easier. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark that last stitch. So I have my 4 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm just going to pop in that scrap of yarn in that last stitch to mark my stitch. So we will be working in some continuous rounds. So what that means is we don't join it, we don't connect it, we're just going to stitch around, and that's going to help avoid some seams. We're going to join in some of the rounds, but to start off with, we're not. So I've got my stitch marker, and that just helps me mark my stitch so I know where it ends. And now we're ready for round 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet right in that first stitch. So there is my single crochet, and now we're going to work a triple crochet, yarning over twice and working that in that same stitch because we need to increase. So increase is adding stitches because we have to make this larger so it turns into a hat. So we pop 2 stitches in that 1 stitch, and we're going to keep doing that all the way around. So we're going to put a single crochet and a triple crochet in each stitch, and then at the end of round 2 we're going to have a total of 8 stitches, and I'll see how much yarn I have left. I might need to switch to the next color. So you can see I'm already at my last stitch, and it's kind of hard to tell. Like if we didn't mark it, you might think maybe that's the last stitch. So that's why it's a good thing to mark the stitch. So we are of that single crochet and triple crochet. So stitch markers are just guides to help you out. Alright, so now we have completed round 2. So I'm going to pop that guy out. Now I'm not going to use it for the next for round 3, but I will use off and on because I know that that's last stitch because it's a triple crochet. So now let's get ready for round 3. So at the end of round 2, you're going to have a total of 8 stitches. So now we're getting ready for round 3, and oops, sorry, I feel like a dog hair. The dog's not allowed in my filming space, but he tries to sneak in sometimes, and he is a shedding machine, so sorry about that. Alright, so let's keep going. So for our first stitch for round 3, we're going to work 2 single crochet right in that stitch. And for this project, you can use as many colors as you like, so if you were switching colors, then you might want to join so that your joins are, when you just do continuous rounds with a whole bunch of colors, the colors can look staggered, and some people don't like that. It doesn't really bother me, but we're just going to work 2 single crochet in each stitch around, and we're going to have a total of 16 stitches at the end of round 3. So I'm going to do that off camera, and I will meet you back. Alright, so I'm at the end of my round 3 here. I'm going to pop in that very last single crochet, and I'm going to switch to a new color because I know I'm not going to have enough for the next round. So I'm grabbing this pink color here, trying to find an end, tucked them in there. So I like to change colors this way. So I have my 2 loops. I'm just going to finish that guy off, and then I usually like to take this end and just give it a little tug so that the stitch is nice and neat. And we're going to get ready for round 4. So we will be joining since we used a new color. So when I say join, that means you're using a slip stitch. So you're just going to insert that hook in that first stitch and make a slip stitch. And I'm going to take that new color, give that a little tug, just so we're nice and neat and tidy there. So now we're ready for round 4 with our new color. We're going to chain 1. We're going to single crochet in that same stitch. Now if you weren't using a new color, then you would just work your single crochet, and we are going to triple crochet in that same stitch. So we're repeating round 2. For round 4, because we're still increasing, we need to make this larger. So in the next stitch I'm working single crochet, triple crochet. So again, if you were not switching colors, then you would just keep going, and I would suggest using your stitch marker to mark your last stitch for round 3. So I'm just going to keep going, working my single crochet, triple crochet in each stitch for round 4, and at the end of round 4 I'm going to have a total of 32 stitches. So I'll meet you back at the end of round 4. Okay, I finished up my round 4. I have 32 stitches, and I am not joining because I'm going to keep going with this color, so that means we're just going to jump right in and start stitching. But if you did want to switch, then definitely join with your slip stitch, and then you would work your chain 1 to begin your next stitch. Okay, so let's get going. So this round we're going to be increasing again, but we're not going to be working 2 stitches in each. We're going to slow up these increases a little bit. So we are going to work a single crochet in our first stitch. I almost missed it there. It's our single crochet down there, so don't forget that guy. Single crochet in that first stitch, and we're going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches for a total of 3. And then in our next stitch we are going to work 2 single crochet in that stitch to work that increase. So we are working in a sequence of 4. So this is stitch 1, this is beginning the repeat. So stitch 1, single crochet, stitch 2, single crochet, stitch 3, single crochet, stitch 4, 2 single crochet. That's all about the math, because we have 32, and 32 divided by 4 is 8, so we gotta make sure we get that right. Alright, so we're just going to keep doing that around. So 1, 2, 3, and then stitch 4, work 2 single crochet. And then you'll just keep going all the way around for round 5, and at the end of round 5 you're going to have a total of 40 stitches. So I'm going to keep going, and I'll meet you back at the end of round 5. Okay, so I'm at the end of my round 5, and I just need to, I'm going to change to a new color because I know I won't have enough of this color here. So finishing off that stitch, giving that guy a little tug and joining with my first stitch with a slip stitch because I'm using a new color. Again, if you were not using a new color, you would not need to join, and I would highly suggest popping in a stitch marker in that stitch to mark it. Okay, so now we're ready for round 6. So we're going to chain 1, and that's only if you join. So every time you would join, you're going to chain 1 to begin your next round. It just gives you that setup there. All right, we're going to single crochet in that first stitch, and we're going to work a triple crochet in the next stitch. So we're going to be repeating round 6 quite a bit. So remember this round. So we're going to single crochet in our next stitch and triple crochet in our next, all the way around for round 6. And as I said before, we're going to be repeating this round quite a bit. So I'm going to keep going here for round 6, working single crochet, triple crochet, and I will have a total of 40 stitches. Again, this is working even. So if you hear the term working even, that means you're just working 1 stitch in each. Alright, so I'll meet you back at the end of my round 6. Alright, so I'm ready for round 7. I'm not going to join because I'm going to keep using this color and hoping I have enough to work one more round. We shall see. Alright, so we are going to jump right in. We're going to work a single crochet in that first stitch. Again, if you joined, you would chain 1 first, but we're not. So single crochet, and we're going to single crochet in the next 3 for a total of 4. In our next stitch, we're going to pop in 2 single crochet to begin the increase. So now we're going to begin our repeat. This is going to be in a sequence of 5. So we are going to single crochet in the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in our next stitch we're popping in 2 single crochet. So for stitch 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and in stitch 5 we're popping in 2 single crochet. So you're just going to do that all the way around for round 7 here, and then at the end of round 7, if you're switching colors, join. If not, keep going. You're going to have a total of 48 stitches, and then you're going to be repeating round 6 for round 8. So I'm going to keep going and doing that. So I'm going to finish up my round 7 in my sequence of 5, and then round 8 I'm going to work another round 6, which is just a single crochet, triple crochet all the way around. So I'll meet you back at the end of round 8. Okay, so I have finished up round 8 working that single crochet, triple crochet row. So let's begin round 9. So I'm not joining because I'm going to keep using this color. So our first stitch, we're going to single crochet, and we're going to single crochet in the next 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4 for a total of 5, and we're going to pop in 2 single crochet in the next. So we are starting a sequence of 6 here. So stitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then in stitch 6 popping in the 2 single crochet because we're still increasing. It's getting larger. You don't want to do a whole bunch of increases at once because then it can look kind of bunchy and not that cute. So you want to do it gradually. Alright, so you're just going to keep going working your sequence of 6. So 1 stitch in the next 5 stitches, and then 2 stitches in your 6th stitch. Oops. And then round 10, we're going to again repeat round 6. So as I said, remember round 6. Round 6 was that single crochet, triple crochet row. So we're going to be, for round 9, we're going to do our sequence of 6, and then round 10, single crochet, triple crochet row, which is round 6. And you're going to have a total of 56 stitches at the end of round 9 here, and then also at the end of round 10, 56 stitches. So I'm going to meet you back at the end of round 10. Okay, so now we're ready for round 11. So I worked my round 10, which is a repeat of round 6, and you should have a total of 56 stitches. So let's get ready for round 11. I'm not joining again. I'm going to keep using this color. We're going to work a single crochet in that first stitch, and we're going to single crochet in the next 5 stitches for a total of 6. So I have my 6 stitches here, and then in the next stitch we're going to pop in 2 single crochet. We are still increasing. We're getting close to being done increasing, but we're not there yet. Alright, so now we're ready for our sequence, our repeat. We are going to work a sequence of 7. So 1 stitch in the next 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then in stitch 7 we're going to pop in 2 single crochet, and you're just going to repeat that all the way around for round 11 here. At the end of round 11 you're going to have a total of 64 stitches, and then for round 12 you're going to want to repeat round 6 again, your single crochet, triple crochet row. So I'm going to keep doing that, and I will meet you back at the end of round 12. Okay, so we are going to be starting round 13, and I'm going to keep going with this color. I'm going to play yarn chicken. I hope I have enough to finish up my round 13 here. So I'm not going to join. So our first stitch is going to be a single crochet, and you should have 64 stitches. I'm sorry, I don't know if I mentioned it, but you should have 64. So now we are going to single crochet in the next 6 for a total of 7. Okay, then in our next stitch we're going to pop in 2 single crochet. And now we're going to be ready for our repeat. So we are going to single crochet in the next 7 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. In stitch 8 we're going to pop in 2 stitches. So you're going to keep doing that all the way around. So work 1 stitch in the first 7, and stitch 8 pop in 2, and then for round 14 you're going to repeat that round 6 again, that single crochet, triple crochet row. So I'm going to meet you back at the end of round 14, and you should have a total of 72 stitches. Okay, I finished up round 14. You can see I've got a new color going on here. We have our 72 stitches, and this was a round 6. Round 14 we repeated round 6. So round 15 is now, we increased enough now. 72 stitches is the sweet spot. So we're just going to work even for round 15. You're going to single crochet all the way around. So I am not joining because I'm still using this color. So you're just going to work even, single crocheting around. So what you want to do here is for rounds 16 through 31, so that round 16 is, you're going to be repeating rounds 14 and 15. So 16 is going to be a round 6, single crochet, triple crochet, and then round 17 would be single crochet round even, and you're just going to keep repeating those 2 rounds, and you're going to stop at round 31, and then we're going to get ready to work on the hat band. So I'm going to keep going, working those rounds, and I will meet you back at the end of round 31. Okay, so I've worked up to round 31 here. I've already changed to a different color because now we're going to be working on the hat band, and as you can see I have a different hook. So I'm using my H hook or 5mm hook, and the reason for that is I want the band to be a little bit smaller so it fits more snugly around the head, because I feel like this part of the hat's just a little too wide. Now for you it might be perfectly fine, but I do have a smaller head, so I just wanted to drop down a hook size, and a lot of patterns do have that, especially in knitting. They'll have you use a smaller needles for working the hat band, and then working the body of the hat you switch to a larger needle, so it's pretty common. So let's begin round 31. So you're going to want to join with a slip stitch in the back loop of that first stitch. There we go, and we're going to chain 1 and single crochet in the back loop of that same stitch. And we're going to single crochet in the back loop in the next stitch and all the way around. So for rounds 31 through 37, you are going to be working in the back loop. Now if you wanted to do all the same color, you would not need to join in your first stitch in the back loop. You can just keep going and stitching around. But I am going to be using some different colors here because this is definitely like a scrap busting project. I've got lots of colors happening here, and actually I think it's kind of cute. So when I change colors, I will join in the back loop in that first stitch, chain 1, single crochet. But again, you can just single crochet around. If you do that, I highly suggest using a stitch marker in this last stitch to mark your stitch. And at the end of rounds 37, what you will do to finish off is you will join with a slip stitch in both loops in that first stitch, and then you can cut your yarn and you'll be all set to go. So I'll meet you back at the end of round 37. Okay, so here is the end of my row 37. So I'm just going to join in both loops, and then you can cut your yarn. And then your hat is all done, the stitching part. Oh, I need to cut that guy too. So definitely a scrap hat here, but I think it's really cute. I'm really happy with it. So then what you'll need to do is weave in any loose ends, and then if you need to block your hat, then certainly do that as well. And then you're all set to go. So I hope you enjoyed this project, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.